UK is a multicultural society, however there's still high amounts of discrimination such as age, disability and religion. However, today we'll be looking at the biggest one of all, race.
Yeah.
4 out of 10 UK citizens have an unfavourable view on different races. 46% of UK citizens believe that other races encourage violence. Only 5% of UK citizens say they have a good knowledge about different races other than their own. There has been a 34% increase in workplace discrimination reports since 2008.
Racial discrimination is a huge topic worldwide, and with so many contrasting ethnic groups and personality differences, let's see what the public have to say about this. So what is your opinion on racial discrimination?
I think racial discrimination is really out of ignorance, and I don't believe in it. I believe that God created us all to love one another, to fellowship with Him, and there is no difference in color. The blood of Jesus makes all of us whole. So my message is love God with all your heart, love your neighbors as yourself. Come to know Jesus as your Lord and Savior. You will be set free and your heart will be filled with love for one another. God bless you.
So have you ever been discriminated before by someone?
I don't even, do you know what? I don't receive anything. Every time I see whether English, black, I see them as brothers and sisters, so I don't see that. I don't receive it, and I mean, whatever you magnify is what increases in your life. And what I see is the love of God. I love English people, I love white people, I love black people, I love everybody.
Okay, last question. So why do you think that people discriminate?
I would say ignorance. I would say perhaps past rejections, and really they haven't been filled with the love of God. So my message is, let's reach out to them, let's love them. Love covers a multitude of sins. Love conquers all.
Alright,
thank you.
Thank you for your time. So what is your opinion on racial discrimination?
Racial discrimination, I would say in the, because I've been, how should I say, I came to this country as a refugee, and that was about 25 years ago. And I must say, in the UK, where I used to live, which was in Deptford and Lewisham, there was quite a lot of racial discrimination. But what I love about the English people is that, we've managed to integrate, well with the community, and we have noticed, well, I've personally noticed that we're in areas that I used to live, we're quite not racist, sorry, that's the wrong term, but there was quite a lot of discrimination. It's more or less completely died, at least for myself, from a personal experience, So from a day-to-day basis, I don't actually notice any discrimination, which is absolutely wonderful. So.
Okay. And have you been discriminated, and if so, how?
So in the past, yes, I was discriminated. We went to a park, and I was about 10 years old. I was two of the eldest kids in the group, and we were bringing our younger friends at the time to the park, and they were between 2 to 5 years old, and we got chased out of the park by a bunch of guys throwing stones at us, and so we had to escape from the park, and luckily some guy came by at the same time, and he put a stop to it. Yeah, so that could have turned out a lot worse.
Yeah.
But as I said, that was a long time ago. I would say even 15 years ago, maybe 20.
Yeah.
But I haven't had anything like that since.
And one last question: why do you think people discriminate?
I think initially, I don't think it's because people don't like colour. I don't think that's the case. I think it's change, and some people, well, most people are good with change. Unfortunately, some people are not, and I think it brings out a kind of resentment, a fear, and as I said, in time with where I've lived anyway, that fear that subsided, and people realise, you know what, they're not what I thought they were, or these people are not what they thought they were, and they're actually really nice. They're just like anyone else who I kind of grew up with, and yeah, so I'm really pleased with that. And as I said, yes, it's not to do with. I personally don't think it's to do with colour. I think it's just to do with just fear and not understanding. And once people do understand, it's good that everyone gets on. Isn't it?
All right, thank you. That was great.
Thank you.
Could you state your name, please?
Joseph Bulko.
Okay, we're doing an interview on racial discrimination, and we want to get your opinion. What is your opinion on racial discrimination?
So for me, I think that being racist or discriminating against somebody because of their race is wrong, but I do also think that at the same time, when it comes to comedy and joking, there is a thin line that people don't know where the line should be drawn or when they're crossing it, because with joking, if a joke is aimed at a particular race or a particular person who is quite sensitive, you need to be very considerate about that, because being serious and actually disliking somebody because of their race, I think is very unfair, because they didn't choose to be that certain colour or race. That's just how they are, and you have to kind of accept a person for who they are, if they haven't actually done anything wrong, and they're just a person, because we're all humans at the end of the day. And what really bothers me is that I think everybody kind of has this inherent dislike towards a certain, not exactly group of people, but just a certain quality about a person. So it doesn't always have to be race, it can be race, but sometimes people will discriminate against people for their gender or for their sexuality, and I think some others, based on their culture, discriminate against people of colour. And one really big example of this is actually in Asia. A lot of Koreans dislike people who aren't white or Korean even, and they dislike their own people maybe because of face shape and all that. And it's weird because it's a huge thing for them, and I think it's just a shame that people fight. And if you go for a job interview, for example, and the interviewer, the employer doesn't like you because of your skin, that is a very unfair thing, that your opportunity has been taken away from you just because of your, not your ability to fulfill that job or to do a certain thing, but because you're, say, black or, yeah.
How do you think we can resolve racial discrimination?
I don't think you can solve it. There's definitely ways to prevent it from happening, but you cannot change the way that somebody really feels about something like that. I think, you can change a person's opinion, but usually things with that, such as that, they're set in stone. You can never take somebody's bias away from a certain person when it comes to racism or just other things, is that person sexist or is that person homophobic? Those views tend to never change. It's very rare that somebody will go from hating women, for example, misogynist, to then supporting women's rights. It doesn't really happen. So it's the same with racism. If you dislike a certain group, you're going to dislike them for the rest of your lives. So I don't think you can solve that, because it's just how we are.
Okay, thank you, and that's it. That's the end of it. We've had many opinions and discovered many facts on the rise of racial discrimination. However, we don't know the reason why people discriminate. This is Matthew Brain, Dartford Town Centre.